Hello, and welcome to the second episode where I go behind the spotlight and show you all the magic that is involved in creating a drag look for performance, all from my wee studio in Glasgow. Welcome back, and welcome to episode 2. Diving straight back into the look I'm working on with the fabulous Miss Lola Fierce. Lola has selected a polyester fabric with a two-way stretch and an eye-catching sparkly effect as the main fabric for the body. Lola had a specific colour in mind when discussing the concept initially, which was specifically Tiffany blue. She knew she wanted the fabric itself to have an element of shine and a little bit of pizzazz, as this is a look for performance and the objective naturally is to stand out and to look visually appealing on stage. There are a few key things that you should consider when cutting out fabric. Firstly, it is important to use very sharp scissors, as this will stop any jagged edges from happening on the seams, but also it just makes it easier for you to cut out. I should also say here that it is important to use scissors that are specifically made for cutting out fabric. I have separate scissors in the studio for paper and for fabric, and I only use each pair for each given nature. You'll see here that I've placed the pattern pieces that I made in the last episode on top of the fabric and secured the two together with some pins and a really heavy weight. This really helps to keep the fabric from slipping while you're working and helps to cut as clean lines as possible. It is important to be neat when cutting around the pattern pieces, as they all need to slot together perfectly when being constructed into the 3D garment. When I'm working, I find it easiest to draw the pattern pieces to the exact body measurements and to manually add the seam allowances by eye when cutting around the pieces. I prefer this method of working as it means it's easier for me to go in and amend the pattern pieces if I need to, and so that they'll be really useful to me to use as a base for a garment for Lola in the future. But this is totally a personal thing, and you should always listen to your lecturers when they tell you to add the seam allowance in. Going back to the initial brief by the client, there are some cut-out design elements at the waist that Lola has selected for her design. We have chosen to go with large fishhole eartex mesh for these panels. For modesty reasons, we've selected a plain, fleshy spandex lycra fabric as an underlayer for the mesh to project a nude illusion on stage. I think of all fabrics, I really prefer to work with fabric with at least a little bit of stretch on made-to-measure pieces, as at the end of the day, my hope is for the clients to keep their garments forever and to be able to use them at many stages in their life. Having even a small amount of stretch gives the garment that further element of longevity, as it will allow the body to naturally fluctuate over the years, but also to be comfy on stage and not to restrict movement. The method of sewing with a stretch fabric is completely different to working with a woven, which is essentially just a non-stretch fabric. And for this, I don't use a standard sewing machine to construct the look. The next episode will follow me as I begin to sew the garment and assemble the cut fabric pieces together. If you have any questions about this next stage in the process, please be sure to ask in the comments, and I'll endeavour to answer these in future episodes. Thank you all again for listening. I hope you have a happy day. Lots of love. Bye!